All right, for question 3-15, it says, for each of the following expressions, visualize them as Cecil's moving on a tightrope or a grouping of plus and minuses, and describe with your team members how you see each expression. Circle a term to simplify. All right, so we're going to simplify these. So I'm going to show my work up here so I get a little bit of room. So the first one I just need to write is 3 times 8.63 plus 1. All right, so here's my plus sign. So that breaks this problem up into two terms. So I've got this term right here, and then I've got this term. So we're just going to simplify these terms. So on this side, I just have 3 times 8.63. So I need to multiply 8.63 times 3 gives me 9, 18, carry a 1, that's 24, that's 25. I have two decimal places, so this becomes 25.89. So this first term is done. And now I have my other term, which is plus 1. So now I can just combine these. 25.89 plus 1 is going to be a 26.89 when I finish this. So this becomes 26.89. All right, so let's see. Let's go over here to B now. So B, if I take a look at this, is 1 plus 3 times 8.63. So once again, I'm going to break these up into terms. So here's my plus sign. So I have a term here, and then my second term is right here. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to simplify this grouping first. So 3 times 8.63. So 8.63 times 3. I feel like I already did this. That's a 9. That's an 18. That's 25. And then I have two decimal places. So this becomes 25.89. Make sure that you're doing your work on your notebook paper. All right. And then I add 1 to this. All right, so this actually becomes now 26.89. Now notice, these two problems were the exact same problem. I had this term, and I had this term. Over here, the exact same problem, they just switched them around. Notice how the terms are exactly the same. They're just switched, because anytime I have a plus sign in the middle, I can switch the order and it doesn't change my value. So I got the exact same answer for A and B. All right, let's take a look at C. Now C, and get this redrawn, is 4 1/3 plus 2 times 3 2/5 plus 5. All right. Let's see. So the first thing is I'm going to take a look at my terms, and I notice here's my plus signs. So I have a term here, I have a term here, and then I have this term. So I'm going to simplify this term here. Multiply 2 times 3 2/5. So let's see. This becomes 2 over 1 times, make this top heavy, makes this 17/5. And let's see, can't cross cancel, so this becomes 34 over 5, if my math is correct. Make this untop heavy, so 5 goes in 34 6 times, and 4 left over. So this becomes 6 4/5. So this becomes 6 4/5. And then I've got my plus 5, and I've got my plus 4 1/3. All right, so notice how I simplified my three terms. Now we just have to add these. Here, I had to get common denominators. So let's see, I'm going to use 15 as my common denominator. So in order to do that, so I'll make this a 15 also. Let's see. So I'm going to multiply this by a 5, because 3 times 5 is 15. Multiply top by 5. 1 times 5 is 5. And then we just kind of bring along the whole number for the heck of it. Here, I'm going to multiply this by 3. So I got to multiply top by 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times 3 is 12. And then we just bring that whole number along for the ride. All right. So now I've got my common denominators. Let's see. 6. Oh, let me move myself out of the way. So my whole number, 6 and 4, gives me 10. When I add up these fractions, my bottom stays the same. So it's still a 15. I add up 5 plus 12 gives me 17. And I still have my plus 5. I'm just going to add this 5 right into this whole number. So 10 plus 5 makes this now 15 and 17/15. Except we can't leave this top heavy. So 15 goes into 17 once. So I'm going to add that to my 15, makes that a 16 now. When I subtract, I would have 2 left over, and then the bottom stays the same. So this becomes 16 and 2/15 when I'm done with all that. All right, let's see. Oops, dang it, I didn't want to erase all that, but oh well. Now, this one here, a little bit different. So now we're going to do this. So we have 4 1/3 plus 2 parentheses 3 2/5 plus 5. And that should be a 2. All right. So let's see here. First thing is I'm going to break these up. They want us to circle a different term. So notice my plus sign right here. That means that this is a term and this here is a second term. So this term, there's nothing I can do to it. So here we need to simplify this term. 3 2/5 plus 5. Well, let's see. 3 whole things and 5 whole things gives me 8. And then 2/5. So I have 8 2/5. Put that back in my parentheses, and now we have that times a 2. So we could multiply these fractions. Also, this is saying 8 2/5 twice. So if I do 8 2/5 twice, 8 and 8 gives me 16. 2/5 and 2/5 gives me 4/5. So we could think of it that way. Or if you want, you can go through and multiply these fractions. But this is just saying I have 8 2/5 twice. So it gives me 16 4/5. Plus, we have our 4 1/3. Once again, I need common denominators, so I'm going to use 15 for my common denominator. When I do this, I'm going to multiply this by 5, so I need to multiply my top by 5. 3 times 5 is 15, 1 times 5 is 5. Bring my whole number along. On this one, I'm going to multiply by 3 to get my 15. Multiply that by 3 makes this a 12. So I have 12/15. Bring my whole number along. 4 plus 16 gives me 20 when I add up my whole numbers. 5/15 plus 12/15 gives me 17/15. This is top heavy. 15 goes in there once, so I'm going to add that to my whole number. So this becomes 21 2/15. So this became 21 2/15. All right. For this one, so let's see. I have 4 plus, actually, I have enough room. I can just do this here. So I'm going to circle my terms. I have a 4, I have a -2, and I have this term. So I'm going to simplify this, which gives me 15. And then I have my other 2 terms. So I had a -2 and I had a +4. So I can just combine these terms now. +4 and -2 gives me a +2 plus 15, which is 17. So this here becomes 17. I'll just write that over here so I have it. If I do F, notice I only have one term here because these plus signs are in the parentheses. So this is just one big term. So I'm going to do what's inside this parentheses first. I have a -4 combined with a +3 combined with a +5. Well, let's see. 3 and 5 gives me 8. +8 and -4 gives me a +4. So the inside parentheses becomes a +4 times 2. 2 times 4 makes this problem just a nice little 8. So notice I did what's in the parentheses first and got 8 plus -4 is +4. 2 times 4 is now 8. All right, getting down to the last two. I'm going to circle my terms, so notice my plus signs. So that means that this is going to be a term, this is going to be a term, and that's going to be my third term. So let's simplify our terms. Let's see, 20 times 2.68. So 2.68 times 20. Well, I love multiplying with things that end in 0, so I put 0 in for a placeholder. 2 times 8 is 16, carry a 1. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Carry a 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. I have 2 decimal places, so I move 2 places to the left. So this piece here becomes the 53.60. And then I have this plus 4 for my next term, plus, now let's simplify this term. 3 times -5. Well, when I multiply, I get 15. Since the signs are different, it is negative. Now notice I just had these plus signs in the middle. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to combine these first. 4 plus -15 is going to be a -11. So that's that piece right there. Plus, I had 53.60. All right. So now I got to combine these. So the biggest number, since the signs are different, I'm going to subtract. So biggest number always goes on top. 53.60 goes on top. And then my -11 goes on the bottom. Remember, there's a decimal right there, even though it wasn't written down. So when I line up my decimals, I line them up. Gotta be careful. Make sure you know there's a decimal there. I subtract because the signs are different. Nothing minus nothing is nothing. 6 minus nothing is 6. Bring my decimal straight down. 3 minus 1 is 2. 5 minus 1 is 4. My biggest number is positive, so my answer is positive. So this became 42.60. All right, one more. Oh, we got this. So let's see. Here's my plus sign. So here I have 2 different terms. So I'm going to simplify my terms. So let's do the first one. I have 7.6 times 4. When I multiply this, 4 times 6 is 24. Carry a 2. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is 30. I have 1 decimal place. So this becomes 30.4 plus, now I got to simplify this term. Well, I'm going to do what's in the parentheses first, so that gives me 105. And then I need to multiply that by 3.5. All right, let's see. The only thing we got to do is we got to make this top heavy and do some work. So let's see. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So this becomes 7 over 2 times 105 over 1. Ew, this is not pretty, is it? All right, well, I guess we just have to do the work here. All right, so let's see. On top, 105 times 7. So 105 times 7, that's 35. Carry a 3. And then 7 times 1 is 7. So this becomes 735 over 2 times 1 is 2. So now we have this big, ugly, top-heavy fraction. So let's see. Top goes inside, 735. Goes outside, 2 goes into 7 3 times. That's a 6. Subtract, I get 1. Drop down my 3. 2 goes into 13 6 times. Move myself out of the way. That's a 12. So I got 1 when I subtract. Bring down my 5. 2 goes into 15 7 times. That's 14. Subtract, I get 1. So my remainder is my new top. My bottom comes from there. So that became 367 1/2. So all of this became 367 and 1/2. All right, so now I need to put these two together. I think I'm going to turn this into a decimal just to make this a little bit easier. So I'm going to turn this into 367.5. And now I can just add these two decimals together. So I have 30.4 plus 367.5. I guess I'll come up here and do this math. So let's see. I'm adding them because the signs are, whoops, wait a sec, we got to back up. This was going to be a negative because the signs are different. So it should be a negative 30.4, which changes everything. So now I'm going to subtract these. So when I subtract, the biggest number goes on top. So this becomes 367.5. I'm going to subtract off 30.4. So when I do this, 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring my decimal down. 7 minus 0 is 7. 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 minus nothing is 3. So this is 337.1 when I get this whole thing done. My bigger number is positive, so my answer is positive.